Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you how to change PC settings. Okay, so first I'm going to tell you that we're going to open settings. So we're going to go to the type here to search section, and then we're going to type settings, right? And then tap on settings. Just press on it, and that will be good. Next, we're going to go over how to use system settings. So first we're going to go to system. You can access system by clicking system. Just tap on system, and then you can see here that we've got many options. I'm going to start with display. So first, I'm going to talk about the options you might have. So for your display, you might have a night light option, and you can turn this on or off. Night light is a feature, so then your computer at nighttime will have warmer lights, and you can adjust the time when it's on or off by tapping night light settings. From here, you can choose to schedule it by turning this on, and then you can choose the hours or use the sunset to sunrise, which is automatic. And you can turn this on or off by tapping on it. Otherwise, you can turn it on now, and you can choose by moving this bar to the right how bright it actually gets. And you can just go through it, and then you can always turn it on to see if that's the right optimal setting. Next, I'm going to go back to the settings option by clicking the arrow. And from here, you can see that we've got Windows color settings. You can change this, and then if you want to change the size of the apps on your computer, you can click on here, and then you can choose which option you would like, how big of windows you would like. Next, you can click advanced scaling settings if you want it to scale it differently than the automatic settings. And you can always also give Windows permission, then it can try to fix the apps so they're not blurry by turning this on. It might already be automatically set up on your computer already. Okay, I'm going to click the arrow back so we can continue. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you how to change your display resolution. So if you don't like the resolution of your computer and you want to adjust it, you're just going to tap on the box that says where probably says recommended, tap here, and you can change it to whichever resolution you would like. And that will change your desktop resolution for you. And just tap on it and it will automatically set itself. And you can always tap on it again to change it. Next, if you have more than one monitor, you can actually attach another monitor by clicking connect to a wireless display if that's wireless. Otherwise, if you have an old display, you're going to have to tap detect it. So then, even though it's plugged in, it might not have been recognized by the computer yet. Next, I'm going to tap advanced display settings. From here, you can choose, so then if you have more than one monitor, you can actually have it so the Windows PC doesn't show it on one monitor, but the other monitor is used. So if you have a laptop, but you want to use your larger monitor and not view on the smaller monitor, the laptop monitor, you can always turn the laptop monitor off, but the other monitor on. And if you don't like this, you can, or if you don't want to change this, or if you do, you can always change it here. Okay, next I'm going to move on to the next section. So please tap the arrow at the top of settings to continue. Next, I'm going to scroll down and just tell you that you can change more display settings and graphics settings right here. Next, I'm going to go to sound settings. These are the settings that are used for your computer audio, so your speakers, so you can hear things, and then your microphone. And you can change this right here. And you can also, if you do have problems, you can easily click troubleshoot to fix that problem. And also, you can test your microphone. As you can see, it's testing it, and other options. Next, I'm going to show you about notifications and actions. So we're going to tap on notifications and actions. Give it a second. Okay. Now I'm going to show you what you can set for your notifications. So you can actually turn on or off notifications for specific apps by scrolling down. And you can choose which one you want to leave on. And if you don't want to turn one on or you want to turn it off, just tap on it and you can tap it on or off. And you can tap on it, one notification, if you want to adjust how it looks as a notification as well. And you can always choose those specific options as well. Next, I'm going to tap the arrow back so we can go to our next section. Next, I'm going to go to Focus Assist. Focus Assist is useful. So if you get, if you're working or doing a specific job and don't want your notifications to pop up on your screen, you can turn this on. This is helpful in those situations, and you can either, you can have it off or you can set it to specific apps to show your notifications. And if that is still too much, you can always set it so then all notifications except set alarms will show. And you can also set rules for it so that it only turns on at certain times of day, when you're replicating your display, and or other options. And then after you're out of Focus Assist, you can set it so then it will show you what you missed afterwards. Next, I'm going to go over power and sleep settings by tapping power and sleep. In these options, you'll be able to select on your battery power or when it's charging, how long it will, your screen will stay on after going away from this. This might be useful if you're, for example, you walk away from your computer and you want the display to turn off after a little bit so it doesn't waste your PC battery, or in the case of a desktop, your power. Next, we're going to go over battery settings by tapping battery. Okay, battery settings are very helpful because you can view information about your battery and what's using your battery up. And you can see here that it will show you what's been using your battery. And this is only for apps, but could be for other programs as well. And it will show you what apps are using your battery the most. Otherwise, if you have a laptop, you can set it to battery saver mode after it gets to a certain percent. Next, we're going to go over storage by tapping storage. Storage is useful if you want to delete apps that you might not want anymore, and files that you do not want anymore, and you'll be able to see what's using up all of your storage as well. And if you scroll down, you can always, once it picks up that information, it will tell you how much you have left as well. And it might take a couple of minutes to pick up if this is one of your first times looking at it. And you can also optimize hard drives and other devices here. I recommend that you have at least 10% of your hard drive space available, but I do not though, but it is fine because I have an external hard drive where I install programs. Okay, next I'm going to go to tablet settings. Tablet settings is useful and very helpful for 2-in-1 devices and tablets. This is so then if you want to switch windows from being a PC to tablet mode. So it's much easier to use if you want it just with your finger or if you don't have a mouse or keyboard. And you can easily from here, you can choose if it notifies you if you're switching between a laptop or tablet. And if you do want to change the settings, we're just going to click change additional tablet settings. And then from here, you can see tablet mode, how to hide icons on the taskbar, which is down here below, and also how to make apps on the taskbar easier to use and other features as well. Okay, next I'm going to go back up and move my mouse back up to the arrow at the top. Next, we're going to go to multitasking. Multitasking is helpful if you want to if you want to use more than one tab of an app, or if you want to use more than one program at the same time. And you can easily turn these on or off. Snap Windows is an automatic setting. So then it will, so if you move this, for example, it will automatically put it to one side. And I'll show that in a second after I talk about timeline. Timeline is where it will tell you, so if you've run a program in the last 30 days and you should look at it such as a document or file, you'll go to the timeline and you'll select that. Next, I'm going to tell you about virtual desktops. Virtual desktops are a function so that if you are working on a whole bunch of projects or different things, but you want to just show one thing, if you're video recording or many other options, or if you want to separate your work and home stuff, that's what they're useful for. And if you want to find all of these options, you're just going to move your mouse to the bottom where it says Task View. From here, you'll be able to select which ones you want to select. So you're just going to right-click on one of the functions. And then if you want to snap it, you'll just tap snap left or right, depending on which side you want the app on, and you'll tap snap left. And then you can snap another app on the right as well. And you can snap them like that. Next, I'm going to show you how you're going to, and I'm just going to go back into full screen so I can show you a little bit better, a little bit more. Next, we're going to go under, just give me a second, sorry. And we're going to tap projecting to this PC. Projecting to your PC is useful. So if you have an iPhone or Android, or not iPhone, sorry, Windows and Android devices, you'll be able to cast the content to your computer. This is always helpful if you want to show your phone screen to other people that are looking at your computer with you, or if you're trying to share a video or easily. Okay, next we're going to go over to shared experiences. Shared experiences is helpful if you, and it's similar to Apple's AirDrop function. This is useful if you want to share files from one Windows computer to another. And you can choose to turn this on or off by turning the switch here. You can turn that on or off, and you can also select who can send things to you and who you can share with. So you'll just tap here, and then you can choose if you want to be able to share from your devices only or every device that's nearby. After that, you can choose what folder it's going to be stored in by tapping change. And you can see here, it will tell you, for example, it's in my downloads folder if someone shares something with me, but you can change that. Next, you can choose, so then if you have an app on an Android device open, you can have it show on here as well. Next, I'm going to tell you about the clipboard. This is the universal clipboard. This is similar to Apple's program where you can copy something on your iPhone and paste on your Mac. But in this thing, it's useful. You can do this on Android and Windows. And as well, you can share it between one of your Windows PCs and another one of your Windows computers as well. And you can turn this on if you want the clipboard to be able to do this. And you can also click the Windows key plus V to find all of your clipboard history. And then below, you can choose to sync it between your devices, and you can turn this on or off. And then you can also choose, so then if this is on, that if you copy something, it will be shared on the other devices available. But you can turn this off as well. Next, we're going to go over remote desktop. This very quickly and briefly. You might be able to use this, you might not be, but this feature is helpful if you're accessing, if you need to share your screen with someone, and they might not, and you're not near them, so they can, and if they're fixing your computer. If you do not have this accessible, because it's only on Windows 10 Pro and Enterprise, you might have to also, there are other options you can use, such as TeamViewer as well. Next, I'm going to tell you about the About section. This settings section is helpful because it will tell you about your computer, the basic specifics about your computer, and security settings as well. And from here, you can also rename your PC, and you can change your product key as well. And it will tell you who the manufacturer of your computer is. As well, it'll tell you the version of Windows you're running. So I'm running Windows 10 Enterprise, but you might be running Windows 10 Home. And then it will tell you the Windows version you're running, and then when it was installed as well. Next, I'm going to tap Home. Now I'm going to show you how to access update and security. This section is helpful if you need to do Windows updates for your computer. You can see here that Windows is automatically installing an update right now for me. But and you can also go here to manually check for updates. And if you tap that update and security, it'll automatically bring you to Windows Update. And you can always tap it on the side if it isn't. From this menu, you can choose to pause updates for up to 7 days. You can change the active hours. So active hours are when you're planning to use your computer and Windows will not be permitted to install updates that require you to restart. And finally, also you can see the update history. So the amount of updates you've installed recently. And then advanced options are where you have a lot of more controls about Windows updates. I'm going to go into advanced options so you can see a little bit about this. Next, I'm just going to tap here. And then from here, you can see the following options. So first, I'm going to tell you about receiving updates from other devices. So this option is so then if you have updates left in the Windows Store, it will allow the Windows Store updates to be downloaded when you update Windows. And you can also choose to have it so that if you have a internet connection that has a cap on it, you can turn downloading updates over your connection off. Then you don't use your internet for the month. Next, you can turn it on so then as soon as Windows is ready to install an update, it will restart. But before it restarts, you'll get a prompt on your computer, and you must be on and logged in or plugged in for this and with Wi-Fi. Next, I'm going to tell you about the next section. So you can get it so it tells you sends you a notification when Windows wants to update. And this is very helpful, so then if there's a Windows update coming up, you'll know. Next, you can pause updates, as I was saying, for up to 7 days, and you can choose from here what day you want to pause it till. and you can easily just tap on it, and that will stop updates immediately. Next, I'm going to go over delivery optimization. Delivery optimization is the second section here as well. So if you want to go back, you can always find it on the second tab. This is helpful, so then, and you might want to turn this off, this mode is so then if you get Windows updates when you're downloading them, and other PCs already have downloaded the update, you can actually use downloads from other PCs to update your Windows PC. And also, you'll be able to share that update with other computers on your network as well. It's your choice to upload this because there might be privacy settings, there might be private information, so you can always look at that as well. I recommend if you do want to turn this on, pick local network and by clicking PCs on my local network if you choose to have this on. Next, I'm going to show you advanced options. And then from here, you can choose the amount of bandwidth that can be used. This is the amount of, I guess, speed that your internet has, and you can choose how much bandwidth it's going to use when it's downloading updates in the background, and when it's updating when it's restarted. Next, you can choose the percentage of bandwidth that it can use as well. And then followed by that, you can choose how much bandwidth is used for uploading updates to other PCs on your network. And then finally, if you have an internet cap, you can choose to have your internet capped by clicking any of these check marks. And I recommend that you only use about 50% is the limit, I'd say, to have for monthly upload limits. So you might want to have less, and that's what I recommend, 50% or lower. Then move your mouse to the arrow at the top. Next, I'm going to show you Windows security settings. These settings are very helpful. So then if you don't have an antivirus on your computer, or even if you do, you'll be able to change Windows security settings for your computer. If you want to select any of these, you'll just tap on them, or you can click on Open Windows Security to find all options. As you can see here, we've got a couple different options. So we've got virus and threat protection. This is if you want to use Windows security as your antivirus. Account protection, where you can change settings for your Windows account, and you can do that in settings as well. Firewall and network protection. This is where you can block websites from being able to access your internet or weird download sites. And then app and browser controls, if you want to control what apps can connect to different things. And then device security. This is helpful if it'll tell you if you're getting close to your device storage limit and other information as well. Device performance and health. This is to ensure your speed of your computer is working, and it might have some basic information as well. And then finally, family options is all the options you might have if you want to set up family accounts as well. And that will link you to Microsoft's website. And you can check all these out by clicking on one of these or clicking on the side menu. And if you ever have any more information, you can always go to one of the one-on-one sessions. Okay, next I'm going to tap the X because I'm going to go to the next program. Next, I'm going to go to backup. Backup is very useful if your Windows computer fails. You'll be able to use this method, and you'll need an external hard drive for this, because it will back up all the information from your computer and to an external hard drive. And this is very recommended. So if your computer does break and you've got a new computer, you'll be able to get all your data back. And you can add a drive to easily add one, and it will detect them for you. Next, I'm going to go to troubleshooting. Troubleshoot. These are troubleshooting sections where Windows will automatically select settings that need to be troubleshooted on your Windows PC. If you go up here, you can choose if the troubleshooters can automatically fix it, or if they need to notify you, or if you want to block them outright, you can tap here. So then you can choose if you want to allow them or not. Next, we're going to go to recovery settings. Recovery settings are very helpful. So then if you download a program that downloaded a weird file and it's not working, or if you just want to reinstall Windows, you're going to go and click Get Started beside Reset This PC. And you can choose to save your files, or you can choose to delete them. It reinstalls Windows, and both options will delete all of your programs on your computer. Next, I'm going to tell you about the go back to the previous version of Windows 10. This option is helpful, so then and this is only for the past 10 days, you'll have the option to go back to the last version of Windows 10. And Windows automatically deletes this after 10 days. So if you do have a problem with your computer, you can always go back to the previous version. Next, I'm going to go over Advanced Startup. This option is and I'm not going to go into this, but Advanced Startup is very helpful. So then if your computer's frozen, you can go to here and it will restart your computer. As well, if you do need to change any settings or reinstall Windows, or if you ever have to take it to a computer store, this is always very helpful. Okay, next I'm going to go over activations, where I'm just going to move my mouse to activation. Activation is very helpful. So this is where you can activate your PC, and it will tell you the version you're running, and then normally you get a product key unless it's activated digitally. It will also tell you if it's not activated. If it's not activated, make sure to purchase a product key, as running Windows without a product key is against the terms of service, and you will lose personalization settings as well. Okay. Next, I'm going to go over Find My Device. Find My Device is helpful, and you can turn this on or off. And it's helpful if you ever lose your device and you want to track it. It's similar to Apple's Find My platform, and you can easily click on account.microsoft.com/devices to go find it. And you can use this page on any computer or mobile device that connects to an internet. The next two options I'm not going to cover because they probably don't apply to you, okay. Next, I'm going to tap the home button so we can go back. Next, I'm going to tell you about how to uninstall applications on your Windows PC. So we're going to just tap Apps. From here, you can choose to delete apps, and you can turn off Windows features as well. And you can scroll down, on this page for features. And then after that, you can also you can scroll down through all of them. And if you find an app you do not want, you can just tap on it, and then you tap uninstall, and then it will guide you through what to do. If you know an app you want to delete, you'll just type it here, and then you can delete it. Next, I'm going to tell you about installing apps only from the Microsoft Store. This is helpful, so then apps are secure, and then you won't get apps that are potentially dangerous. So you can choose to let Microsoft only allow you to download apps from the Microsoft Store. You can choose to get it to warn you before installing from the Microsoft, before installing an app that's not from the store. You can get it to tell you if there's an app that's like it in the store, or you can get it to download from anywhere. And that's very helpful as well. And your antivirus can always assist you with those settings as well. And then optional features, these are features that Windows has that you can turn on or off as well. Next, I'm going to go to default apps. Default apps are very helpful because those are the apps that if you open a link from the browser, where all those links will open to. So for example, if I was opening a song I downloaded, it would open in Groove Music, Photo Viewer would be Photos, and so on and so on. And you can easily click on one to switch what email client or what program you want to use as the client as well. Next, I'm going to show you the video playback. So video playback is very helpful if you want to test it, how videos play in Windows. And finally, startup is helpful. Startup apps are helpful, and you can turn these on or off. So these are apps that will start when you open Windows every time, and these start automatically. And you can turn these on or off as well. And they will request to be turned on, and then you can turn them on or off from there. Next, I'm going to go to the home section to continue. Next, I'm going to tell you that about Wi-Fi settings. That's in network and internet. And then from network and internet settings, you can choose, you can see what Wi-Fi network you're connected to, if you're connected to the internet, and more right here. Next, I'm going to show you. So if you go to Wi-Fi, you can choose which Wi-Fi network you want to be connected to. And you can always choose to have random hardware addresses as well. Next, if you have a very old connection, you can connect to dial-up, you can connect to a VPN, and airplane mode. Airplane mode is helpful. So if your internet, if you're disconnected from the internet, you can always access this. Next, I'm going to go to mobile hotspot. Mobile hotspot is useful. So then if you're in a hotel or a public internet place and you have a VPN on your computer, you can share your connection with your other devices so they're protected by the VPN as well. And you can have up to 8 devices connected to this connection. And you can choose how to share through Wi-Fi, by tapping Wi-Fi, or by Bluetooth. Okay. Next, I'm going to tap Home, and we're going to go to Personalization settings. So personalization settings are very helpful if you want to change your background for your Windows desktop, if you want to change the colors of your desktop, the lock screen, so that's the area where when you're logging into Windows, and you can see they will show you the numbers like that, the themes of Windows, the fonts, so that's like the text that you could see, and then the start menu, which is here, and then finally the taskbar, which is where the search, type here to search and everything is. Okay, and you can always choose to move the taskbar whenever you would like. Next, I'm going to tap Home, and we're going to go to Devices. Devices are helpful if you want to add a new Bluetooth device, a keyboard, or other wireless devices. If you want to add a new device, you'll just tap Add Bluetooth or Other Device. And then from here, you can choose Bluetooth for Bluetooth devices, wireless dongles, and other devices as well. And then it will guide you through what to do. Okay, next I'm going to show you, if you go to printers and scanners, you can add a printer. Mouse settings, this is where you can adjust the mouse, and if your primary button is the left or right. The touchpad, which is usually the built-in keyboard mouse on your computer, laptop, the keyboard for typing, and then Windows Ink is if you have a computer with a touch screen, you can use a this is more for that, because you can use a pen, like a Windows pen, and you can write on the digitally write notes with Windows ink. Finally, autoplay is useful. So if you want to automatically play features from a keyboard or USB, you can also select that. And finally, USB settings, you can choose to show if there's a problem connecting to your USB drive. Okay, next I'm going to tap the home button, and I'm going to go to privacy. The privacy section is very helpful, so you can control what data Windows has about you. First, I'm going to tell you to turn this setting at the top off, let apps use advertising ID. I would turn this off because when you're using the advertising ID, Windows will be able to give you tailored ads, which will be tracking you based on other information. And you can choose how to change these from here. Next, you can change information about what Windows collects from speech, and you can turn this on and off. And this is but if you do turn this off, you will not be able to use Cortana, which is Microsoft's assistant right here. Next, you can go through each option separately, and you can check settings for location, text messages, emails, and more about what Microsoft collects and what permissions apps have. Next, I'm going to tap the home section again, and finally, I'm going to tell you that we already, if you're looking for ease of access, you can find that in our presentation, which will be added to the along with this video potentially, and in one of our previous videos. And next, I'm going to go to accounts. Accounts is helpful. So if you want to add a new user to your computer, or if you have to add other information, and you can choose from here to manage your Microsoft account. You can sign up with a local account, and you can add a picture for your account, or you can browse for one as well. Next, I'm going to go to emails and accounts. This section is very helpful if you want to add an Exchange account or other mailbox to your Windows computer. And you can add other Microsoft accounts as well. Next, I'm going to go to sign-in options. Sign-in options are very useful if you want to sign in with your fingerprint, facial recognition, which is like your eye, and then or you can use a 4-digit PIN to log in as well. And you can choose to sign up for your account password, a picture, or a security key as well. Okay, and next, if you go down to require sign-in, you can choose when Windows requires you to sign in again. You can choose to either have this when your PC wakes up from sleep or never. I recommend that you have it when your PC wakes up from sleep, so then you have maximum security. Next, if you have a mobile device, you can choose to have Windows, so then whenever your device goes away from it, you'll automatically have the device, it will lock your computer for you, and you can add that device in Bluetooth and other devices as well. Or if you want to learn more, you can tap learn more. Okay, finally, I'm going to tell you about restarting apps. So this is helpful if when you're restarting your PC, when you're restarting it and signing out, and you can have the programs restart for you. And then you can choose at the very bottom, you can see that you can show your account details on the main screen. If you do not want this, you can turn it off, and you can choose to use your sign-in info. So then it will, if it's updating, it will sign you in automatically after restarting. Okay, next you can access work or school accounts in the work or school section, and you can connect to school. And then finally, we're going to go to family and other users. So this section is helpful if you want to add a new person to your computer. And if you have a family member you want to add, you'll click add someone. Otherwise, you'll tap add someone else to this PC. And then once you're doing this, and then once you're adding the person to your PC. If they don't have if you don't know their Microsoft account, or if they don't have one, you're going to tap I don't have this person's sign-in information, and then you can create an account for them with their existing email, or you can click get a new email address if they do not have one currently, or you can create one with a phone number as well. And then it will prompt you through how to create the account. Okay. Next, finally, we're going to go to sync your settings. And this option is helpful, and you'll normally have it so then you can sync your Windows settings between more than just your computer. You can sync it between all PCs that you have. Okay. If you're in any Windows option, you'll see a search bar that says find a setting. This is helpful. If you ever need to find a specific setting, you can always search for it right here. Or when I tap home, the find a setting is bigger over here. And you can search for whatever you're looking for that way. Finally, I'll show you a little bit of, I'll show you the File Explorer. So the File Explorer is where all files are stored on Windows. And I'll just tap it. It looks like a file at the bottom. And then you can see here that's loading. And then you can see it shows, you can delete and you can create a document in the document section, or other spots as well. And you can add files and delete files. Okay, I'm just going to close this, and you can always check this out on your own. And yeah, yes. Otherwise, I'm going to show you control panel. So these are the options if you don't like the new settings menu, but if you want to use the older settings, you just tap control panel. And then in control panel settings, you'll have many of the network and internet options. You can delete a program by tapping programs and then uninstall a program. And then finally, you can turn on default programs, your clock and region settings in clock and region. Ease of access is like we've covered before, where you'll have more information about your devices, and more with system security, like the Windows firewall.